folks. I got an incredibly special episode of the Niche Down podcast for you today. First things first, we have to say it every single show. Niche down. All of you out there, you're all doing too much. Niche down and do what you're good at. And number two, as we all know, money's not real. It's fake. It's literally nothing. So quit treating it so dang real. Onward. So we got an incredibly special guest for you guys today. So I got Will Scott. He is the owner of the Elite Level Status Podcast and Wines. Yeah, man, I'm so excited to have you today. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. I appreciate you having me in. This is my first time being on someone else's podcast.
Yep.
I'm very excited about this. Usually I'm in your chair. Now I'm on the other side, and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I did Will's podcast, instant buddies right away, and I got watching all of his stuff. I had watched a bunch of your stuff prior to us doing our episode. But I was like, man, nobody's ever turned the camera back on Will and asked him some questions about why he feels the way he feels. So I was like, we got to have you in, dude, because our episode was fire. Most viewed episode on the Elite Level Status Podcast. Very proud of that. That's what I always try to bring. And I'll be kind of shocked if the same thing doesn't happen with you over here, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, man. It was a great episode, and it's just a start. We got way more clips coming.
Oh.
Way more content coming, so I'm excited.
Yeah, no, we were talking before we hopped on, like, me and this guy could do a pod once a month, I think, and it will do bigger and bigger numbers every time.
For sure.
So, well, cool, bro. We're gonna hop right into it. So, the way I want to start with you is just kind of get your background and your story and how Will Scott got to be where Will Scott got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, first thing. Just give us a little rundown of kind of your childhood, maybe like age newborn 0 to age 18. The quick 2 or 3 paragraphs on where you came from, my friend. Where you from? What's your family life when you were a child? All that kind of stuff. Tell me.
Yeah, for sure. So I was born here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Born and raised. Had a great family. Very positive, motivational family. Told me, since I was a little kid that, hey, I'm gonna grow up and be something successful, be great in this world. And so my biggest motivation is proving my family right. And, just following through on what they believed I would always be. I went to school in Las Vegas, played basketball, played sports in high school, tore my ACL right before college. I had a hoop dream. I wanted to go to the NBA and all that.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Luckily, I had great grades. So I was able to get a scholarship to college. And then graduated college for engineering.
Okay.
Been working at that same engineering company since I was 16. And then while doing that, I don't have any kids or anything, so that's what really kind of sparked my entrepreneurial mindset. Both my parents, very successful people. And in my engineering job, we do a lot of work on the Strip, the Wynn, Cosmo. I got to be in meetings with, some legendary people in town, Steve Wynn, Sheldon Adelson, and building those buildings. I got to see the finer things in life. I got to see, how, Louis Vuitton and some of your higher end, places on the Strip, some of the most luxury, highest end places in the world, I got to be a part of designing and building. And that kind of, helped me aspire to want to create my own luxury products myself. And that's what led me to start my company.
Dang, dude, holy cow. We could do a whole podcast on everything you just said. So, sorry if I drill down on some of these details, but, okay, so what is, you got your degree in engineering, I assume?
Yeah.
Were you mechanical, electrical? What specifically was
So, I graduated in construction management. So, it's kind of a combination of all the above,
Yeah.
right? So when I graduated, I've been interning for my company, the Penta Building Group, and we're a general contractor. So our job is to manage the owner, the architect, and bring in the subcontractors to actually build the building. So we got to touch everything, right?
Yeah.
I got into this after I tore my ACL in high school. I was on crutches, and I was in class, and I wanted class was boring. We had a substitute teacher. I got out of class, went down the hall to get some water, was hopping along, and I saw a presentation for Arizona State University. I'm like, man, what's that? I don't want to just stay here and go to UNLV if I don't have to.
Yeah.
So I hopped in there and checked it out. They were offering a high school internship and a scholarship to college. And so I went in there, met the recruiter. I got an internship with that same company when I was 16. I'm still there today. And they've kind of just seen my whole growth from literally a kid to a young man, and they've kind of created my business philosophy from that company. Watching, a $1 billion company, we weren't $1 billion at the time, but I've watched us grow into that, and I've seen how business gets done at the highest levels, and I've been able to take that and use it in my own business.
Dude, this is actually crazy. I'm learning all of this live, folks. Like, me and Will talking and stuff, but we've intentionally saved some of this for the podcast. I mean, dude, for those that watch my stuff, that's what I do. I do exterior construction.
Yeah.
So, blowing my mind right now, we're going to be doing other business too, man, because I really want to start a location down here. We're just getting into commercial. I hear it's crazy down here, bro. Like, the construction world down here is like it's the best in the world, right?
Yeah.
They're building like some of the most architecture throughout like the rest of the U.S. is actually pretty boring.
It is.
But in Vegas, that's not the case,
Yeah.
obviously. Like, it's tip of the spear down here.
Right.
So, damn, dude, that's so crazy. So you're still at that job while you're doing elite level?
I'm never leaving that job until I'm filthy rich. I would never leave.
Okay, so like 6 to 12 months then?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hey, let's speak it into existence. I like that. Yeah.
Everybody at Will's job, just so you know, he's not going to be around that much longer, bro. So, no, that is so crazy. Okay, so now I got to go back to, bro, how junior, senior year, you tear your ACL? What year?
The summer before my senior year.
Dude, so you're going in, you're probably, I assume you were pretty good if you were thinking about going to college.
I had multiple scholarship offers, playing in an AAU tournament the summer before.
Yep.
But, looking back on it, as men, adversity is going to strike, right? And it really taught me, I had to work through, I had to rehab.
Yeah.
I had to pivot. Looking back, it sucked at the time.
Yeah.
But it was my first time hitting real adversity.
Yep.
And it's helped me throughout my life.
Yeah.
I feel like as men, you have to have the mindset of typically people aren't going to help you. No one's coming to save you.
Yeah.
But people will respect you if you help yourself first. And that's something that I learned during that time. I still got my work in. I rehabbed. I kept my grades up. I think people respected the fact that, I would never show that I was down, or I never showed that I was down or like sad about the situation.
Yep.
I was able to put a brace on it for my senior year and still play, actually. I played my whole senior year on a torn ACL. I did. Now, I wasn't nearly as effective as a player,
but
but it was my senior year, right? So I wanted to go out there and gut it out. So it was a toughness thing, a mind over matter thing. After my senior year, I got my surgery.
Yep.
And then just got ready for college at Arizona State.
Dude, hold on. Back up. So you tear this thing summer going into your senior year.
Yeah.
The season starts in October?
Yeah.
Dude, so 3 months into a torn ACL, you're out on the court.
So when I got hurt, I didn't know. I thought like maybe it was just a sprain or something. And so initially, I remember like going up and like blacking out, right? And I remember waking up on the ground and like my mom on top of me, like crying and like not like freaking out, right?
Yeah.
So I remember waking up and then like my leg was hurt, but I thought, okay, it's a sprain or something, whatever. I went in and got an MRI and they told me it was torn. So I was like, man, I got to get surgery and all that. But like after a couple of weeks, I wasn't really in pain, right? So I was kind of skeptical, like, torn ACL, seriously?
Like let me get
my leg doesn't feel that bad.
Let me get a second, third, fourth, and fifth opinion, please.
Yeah, and so we talked about it, and so you have other ligaments in your leg, and so they said if I strengthen it and wear a brace, I could still play. Yeah, it's my senior year, man. Like I've been working on all this time, so my kind of basketball dream ended with that, but I was able to still play.
So,
and then, like I said, I had great family, great parents. Wasn't gonna let that like stop me. Just had to pivot. Yeah, and so that's what I did.
Dude, and I'll tell you, I know a lot of pro athletes in Utah where I'm from. Thurl Bailey goes to my gym. People who know that name, Mark Eaton, like some big Jazz basketball players from the 90s and the 2000s. They're all beat to hell. Yeah. And they all tell you, like, I don't know if I'd do that shit again. Yeah. Like, I go be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. Yeah. Like, a lot of pro athletes say that. Dude, it's grueling. So you might have ended up – I have the same – very kind of similar. I didn't get injured, but I wanted to play football. I played high school football, and I just stopped growing. Like, I was the same size I am now in the 7th grade.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like – and then both my grandpas are 6'6". My dad's 6'3". I'm the runt in my family at 5'11", 200 pounds. So like in my head, I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna be 6'4",
Yeah.
balling, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And my high school football career ended. I pissed off my coach, so I ended up not playing so much my senior year. And even though, like, at my position, I was head and shoulders better than everybody, but he just really didn't like me.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, I'm like, damn, dude, think of all that head trauma I saved.
Oh yeah.
Like a year of just, because I was running back, dude.
Yeah.
So a year saved of that when my brain's developing. In hindsight, I'm like, thank God. Because listen, dude, I wasn't going to go be a freaking running back in the NFL.
Right.
So what was the point really going to be of taking all that punishment?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird how at the time, especially the younger you are, things that seem like a complete crisis in the moment end up being like amazing things for your life, dude.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a kid, you
Yeah.
know, being a pro athlete seems way cooler than,
Yeah.
you know, owning a business or having a professional job.
Yep.
So I think that's why a lot of kids have that dream.
Yep.
But yeah, if you're going to take the physical punishment, you want to leave it with millions of dollars and financial security. Most people don't get that. So it's actually a blessing in disguise when you're taking off that path.
Even you make it to the NFL and you're on the practice squad making $5,000 a week, like for what, dude?
For what?
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
No. Dang, that's crazy, dude. I had no idea any of that. So, well, I could talk all that in sports the whole day. So we better move on there. So, cool, man. Well, okay. So grew up, great family. So I always like to get into this. Supportive family, parents still together to this day, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so my dad passed away a
sorry to
couple
hear that.
years ago.
Yep.
I feel like I had the perfect father, and
So cool.
I'm very thankful for the time that I did have with him.
Yep.
Everything you could want in a man, still to this day, I try to be like him.
Damn,
I
dude.
still try to like think of what he would tell me,
Yep.
what he would want me to do. Literally perfect. Always had the right answer.
Yep.
Always was there. Told me how proud he was of me. Told me that I would be great. Told me that I have a lot of success in my future. So everything I do, I try to still make him proud. My mom, amazing woman. I love my mom so much because, you know, she raised me with no guarantees that I would be like a successful person
Yep.
or be a productive citizen. She just raised me just out of pure love that I was her son.
Yeah.
So, you know, my mom, you know, probably my biggest motivation is, you know, she already has her dream house. She already has her dream car. She's a very successful person. She's already got all that stuff for her. So what I want to do for her is just be able to have her sit down one day and think like, wow, look at what my son turned into.
Yeah.
You know, my son became this amazing, successful man, and all the sacrifice and work that I put into raising him actually paid off.
Yeah.
If I could just give her that gift, then that would be a success for me.
Dude, and that's, let me tell you too, you don't have kids yet. I've got a 7-year-old daughter. That's the greatest gift you could give her. My daughter's in that same boat, right? My daughter's not going to have to ever worry about dealing with dad, right?
Yeah.
Like when she gets 30, 40, 50 years old, God willing, I'm still alive. You know, a lot of kids' dream if they grow up poor is to buy their parents a house, all that stuff. So like she's not going to be in that boat, and it sounds like your mom's not in that boat. But for me, the greatest gift that she'll ever give me is that she's okay.
Yeah.
So like I could tell you already, you know, I don't know how much your mom goes into all that stuff, but with you, but the fact that you're on that path, dude, I don't know your mom, but she's got to be so crazy proud of you to even have that mentality.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that successful parents just want to know, that their kids are going to be okay, dude.
Yeah.
Which obviously, yeah, I just the little we've gotten to know each other, I don't see not much is probably going to slow you down. So
Yeah,
ACL surgery at 17, and you still played your whole senior year is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, perfect segue into the question I was going to ask. So what were your beliefs around money as a child? Like you could start, for me, my first memory of like really being conscientious of money and what it was like 5, 6, 7 years old. And then obviously you develop your views and beliefs around that all the way, you know, through college and high school and all these things. So tell me, as a child and growing up, what were your beliefs around money, and tell me the things that sort of shaped those beliefs.
My money beliefs were that you need to be smart. Don't be stupid with your money. My mom is a very successful person, and she was always preaching financial literacy at a young age, teaching me about investing, life insurance, and all that. Setting all that stuff up for me when I was a kid. Now, with that said, you always want more of it. You know, I never wanted for anything as a kid. Whenever I wanted like a video game or like some new Jordans or whatever, my mom always made sure that I had stuff.
Yeah.
But she always made it clear that this stuff isn't cheap.
Yeah.
And that I better be doing what I need to do as far as, you know, grades and, you know, how I acted and how I behaved, how I treated people in order to continue to get what I want. So nothing was ever handed to me, which is why I respected her. Like, she gave me everything I wanted, but, you know, it was a deal. Like, I better, you know, keep my grades up. I better do what I need to do.
Be
in
on top of
exchange.
your shit, or else it's
Right.
gonna go away.
Right. Right.
That's so
And
cool.
then, you know, you see, like, you know, on TV and the celebrities and, like, you know, the glitz and the glam of what money can do. So when I was younger, you know, I was always, you know, really inspired by that. And then when I started working at Penta, being able to watch, you know, these luxury hotels and casinos be built, it really just sparked a fire in me to want to be able to create those luxury products and also live that lifestyle, right?
And dude, you're around literal billionaires at that
Literally,
point. Like
yeah.
that's like all the time.
And, you know, you just get to see how different people operate. And
Yeah.
the biggest thing that I've learned is that there are multiple ways to get the job done.
Yes.
I've seen guys that are billionaires that treat people terribly and are bad people,
Yep.
just bad people skills,
Yep.
and they're still rich. I've seen the owner of my company that I work at. You know, when I was an intern, I remember the first day of my internship, this guy's a multimillionaire. I showed up for the high school intern orientation. Me and my mom were walking in the building. The owner of the company opens the door for me.
Mm.
I was like, wow, like, why is this dude open the door for me?
Yeah.
He's the owner. Like, I should be opening the door for him.
Yep.
Asked me how I was, right? That same guy, a couple years later, graduated college. I see him again. He got hired on, and he came up to me and he asked me, hey, how's your mom doing? And so that told me, like,
Yeah.
there are people that are super successful
Yep.
and have great people skills and care about what you're doing. And so he taught me that, you know, when you're the owner, you get to set the temperature.
Yep.
You get to set the culture.
Yep.
And so how he treated me, now guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to treat everybody great.
Yeah.
Like, if the owner of the company is treating me like that, the new guy,
Yeah.
then there's no excuse for me not to treat people,
Dude.
you know, absolutely great.
And in business, dude, in particular, and really life, right? Like everything applies to everything else always, but particularly in business, like it all starts at the top. However, the top guy acts,
Yeah.
that's going to permeate throughout the organization, and it doesn't matter how big or small that organization is. Like it could be a team of 2, or it could be a team of 200,000, and you're Sheldon Adelson,
Yeah.
you know, CEO of Sands, Las Vegas Sands. So,
Yeah.
man, that's an awesome, awesome point. So, well, cool, man. How and I don't know the answer to this. I feel like, but how old were you when you started your own business and started this whole elite level stuff? How long ago was it?
So I've dabbled in other businesses all throughout my 20s, but this one I was about 30.
Okay, so a minute
when-
now.
Yeah, when I first got the idea,
Yeah.
and really wanted to get serious and thought that there was some real potential there.
Yeah,
I had to go through some things personally. You know, my dad passed away,
for sure.
and then, you know, that was kind of like the darkest time of my life. But once I got through that, I tried to like channel that energy into the right places. And then, you know, I've had business partners and things like that, but now, you know, I'm kind of more on a solo mission
Yeah.
as far as building my stuff. But yeah, I think right around 30-ish is when I started to kind of put things together. and
That
really
was
start
me
moving
too.
forward.
31. I was like, all right, I'm done having a boss, dude. I'm over it. Which,
Yeah.
kudos to you for staying at your job, because my whole thing for starting my own business
Yeah.
was I'm not asking anybody if I can go on vacation ever
Yeah.
again. Like, so I
And-
go ahead.
And that's an interesting point. The way I look at it is like I'm looking at my bosses and trying to learn how they run a business, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So for me, I understand what you're saying, like being able to do what you want. But from my standpoint, these guys are running at this right now a $1 billion company.
Yeah.
So what do they do? How do they treat people?
Yep.
You know, how do they operate? So being able to watch them,
Yep.
see how they treat people, see everything from how they run meetings
Yep.
to how they, you know, respond in emails, how they handle conflict.
Yep. Important. How you act when stuff's going good is like irrelevant.
Right.
How do you act when the whole world is falling down
Right, right.
around you, you know? Yeah, no, I get it. And listen, I kind of did the same thing. So before I started my business at 31, I worked for a company called Lee Filter, which is the largest home services company in the world. Ironically, they've got a really small presence in Las Vegas, but everywhere else they're huge. And that's what I did do. Like last year they did $3 billion worth of business.
Yeah.
My first year there, they did 750 million. So they grew. But, yeah, I was like, for 5 years, I just studied everything. Like, what are these guys doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to plagiarize all the stuff that's good. There's a couple of bad things that I think would be better off if you cut those out.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, too, is companies get bigger, they calcify.
Yeah.
They're not as nimble. They're not as fast. They can't implement, like, new good stuff. And so, yeah, I basically did what you were doing, but then I burned the bridges.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm out of here, dude. Like, I'm like, I've got what I need here.
Yeah.
If I fail, fuck it, I'll just come back. It's
Yep.
fine, you know?
Exactly.
So, no, I get it for sure. So I can't wait for you to make the step and go all in, because I'll tell you this, and this is just, you know, friendly advice as your friend now. Once you do that, once you really go, fuck it, I mean, niche down. That's the whole thing on this podcast.
Yeah.
And you just like, I'm going all in on one thing.
Right.
Like imagine, and you've had this in your life, right? Basketball.
Yeah.
When you put all of your energy into something,
Yeah.
like the progress you can make in a short period of time is
Exponential.
Dude, it's crazy. So I can't wait. At some point, knowing you, I'm going to see you take that step.
Yeah.
And that's going to be sick, dude,
Yeah.
because you're just going to
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, fuck it, being an engineer, and that's the other thing, dude. If you got a job that you like, actually, that was the difference with me too. I was going to a job I hated. That like I had hit the ceiling at $250,000 a year, and I was sick of doing it.
Yeah.
If you're still going in there and learning a whole bunch of shit and being around people that you like, dude, like I get it. It would almost emotionally be hard to separate from that, because you're like, dang, I'm still learning all this good stuff, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's so sick, dude. Okay, next question. So what? Let's start at that point at 30 years old, when you really start into this. What is the most important, 1, 2, or 3 lessons that you learned the first year that you probably couldn't have anticipated until you got into it?
No one cares about your business like you do.
Mm-hmm.
Is it number one? I think that you have to be careful not to be too optimistic. That was me. I naturally have a very positive mindset.
Yeah.
And, I saw the best in people. I saw the best outcomes possible. And I think I kind of over-leveraged myself in the beginning.
Yep.
And there needs to be a healthy sense of pessimism, especially if you're an optimistic person starting a business.
Yep.
And you need to act on results and not hope and not feelings and what you want or wish to happen. You have to act and make decisions based on reality.
Yep.
And I definitely learned that lesson the hard way, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And I would say that's probably the biggest thing. I also think that people will use you if you let them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's up to you to realize when you're being used and to stop it.
Dude, yep. We're going to go into this applies to, and we're going to get into, I'm not going to be able to help myself. We're going to get into some relationship stuff in a bit, and that applies to that too, where I always say this. First of all, respond to the first thing you said. Absolutely. I did a podcast 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yep, I had an overly optimistic view of how everything was going to go. The one thing you can guarantee is shit's going to go wrong. Yeah. And if I could tell myself that on day one, is like, expect shit to go wrong way more than you did.
Right.
So exactly what you said.
Right.
But dude, you're absolutely right too. It's your job to control who's around you, and this applies to relationships too. Again, we'll get into. Humans have this weird thing. Just any human on the planet, we do this, right? There's a gap between what we know we should do and what we are doing, right? So like somebody comes into your business, and almost always, for those of you out there, your gut feeling is almost never wrong. Think back into your life, right? Somebody comes into your business, you get into a relationship, and there's always signs pretty early on if stuff's going to be bad. Yeah. And we have a bad time like listening to that. We're like, we start seeing the optimism in it. Like they could do this, they could do this. This girl's so great. This business partner has, resources that I don't have, right? And it's not right. You shouldn't really give them the time, but you're like, let me try a little bit longer. And I always tell people the shorter you can make that bridge or that gap between what you know and what your gut tells you, like, I don't think I should really fuck with this person. Yeah. I think they're wasting my time. Yeah. If right when you have that thought, you never talk to that person again, the chance that you won't save yourself a bunch of time, effort, money, and stress is almost like you're gonna like. Same with a girl, right?
Yeah.
Same or girls if you've got men out there or people you're dating. I always ask a girl, right? And we'll get into some of the dating stuff now that applies here. Girls will often complain about like, yeah, I was in this 3-year relationship. It caused all these problems in my life, this and that. And my first question is always like, well, why were you there 3 years? I'll be like, I don't know. They'll say whatever, right? And I'll be like, well, let me ask you this. When was the first sign of like whatever manifested 3 years down the road? When was the first sign of that happening? And invariably, it's always like pretty early on. It could be like 4 months, 5 months, a year. Okay, a year in, you saw shit going bad south, and you stayed for 3. Why?
Yeah.
Like, same in business, right? Like, a lot of times it's like, I knew this guy was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I hung around for a year and a half. It's like, dude, if you can, okay, I get it. Like, month 3, something's going wrong in your life, relationship, business, whatever. Give it till month 4, month 5. Don't fucking waste your time for 4 years on some bullshit that you know is. And the thing about situations like that is they degrade.
Yeah.
Like if you don't start seeing a 180 pretty quick, in general, things are not going to get way better like a year down the road, right? Like shit's going to continue to get worse and worse. So I think you're actually hitting on a point that. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, and you know, you want things to work out how you see them.
Yep, that's the optimism thing.
Yeah, the optimism thing. Now, you know, for me personally, like you said, trust your gut. This may be controversial to a lot of people, but I'm a guy that absolutely will judge books by their covers.
You should, dude.
And I feel like the one time out of 100 that I'm wrong doesn't make up for the other 99 out of 100 that I'm right. So I trust my gut all the time,
Yep.
and I judge books by their covers all the time in all areas of life, business, personal, relationships. I feel like I'm going to be right way more often than I'm wrong,
Yep.
and I think that saves me a lot of disappointment, a lot of time, and a lot of money.
Young men out there, please hit the skip back button 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and just listen to what he just said. This is a 36-year-old man, okay? If you're 18, you're 19, you're 20, 25, you know, if you can get that and understand, you know, be optimistic. But the second, you know, one of my favorite lines I've ever heard, I'm a big DMX fan, rest in peace. He did an interview once. And in true poetic DMX fashion, he goes, all you got to do in this life, it's very simple. Trust people to be who they show you to be, right? You know, you don't get angry at a snake for being a snake and biting you. Like, you just trust it to do what it does.
Yeah.
You trust a mean dog to, you know, you trust a really nice, sweet girl to treat you really nice and sweet. People in general, pretty quickly, are going to show you who they are. They can't help themselves. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
And if you spend enough time, even like a short amount of time around somebody, you're going to see how they treat others. You're going to see things that are you know, deep-seated psychological things that they're just their habits. They can't help them. And if you just trust people to be who they show you to be, you're rarely going to be wrong.
Yeah. And another lesson I've learned too is control what you can control. So in your snake example, you know snakes bite people.
Yep.
You can't change the snake. You can't control the snake. But what can you control? You can make sure you're not around the snake and you don't give the snake the opportunity to bite you.
Yep.
And I think that's something very important too. And I think, again, in personal life, business, relationships,
Yep.
I can't control other adults.
Yep.
I can't control what other people do. The only thing I can control is my actions.
Yep.
And I prioritize that in every situation. What can I do to get the outcome that I want? Because I know I can't change other people.
And here's another thing for you. Let's say let's say men ages 14 to 28. Listen to me when I say this, and this is exactly what Will is saying. I'm going to say it a little different. Okay? It is your job to adjust to the world. It is never the world's job to adjust to you. Okay? Understand that. If you're going around this world thinking, oh, I should be handed this, this is how it's supposed to work, you're never going to get anywhere doing that. But if you just assume everything's my fault, I control what I control, and listen, if you know, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. If you get hit, you get T-boned coming through a light, and it wasn't your fault. It is proven on cameras that it wasn't your fault. Well, guess what? Actually, you could have 100 feet before you got through that stoplight looked both ways and seen, is there a car coming a little too hot through this red light? There's always something you can do. You can always avoid danger, and that's, you got to make good decisions in life, and you got to remember, if nobody learns anything from this episode today, remember this. It is your job to adjust and deal with the world. It is not the world's job to adjust and deal with you. And the second that I really grasped that concept, I had a mentor really tell me that, my life completely turned around. And if you just attack stuff with that, starting at that start point, again, the point you're making there, I can't express how valuable that is. And if you attack life that way, you will make more money. You will have more success with women.
Yeah.
You will live a better life. Your kids will be happier. Your life will never be worse by assuming that everything's my fault. I'm going to control what I control and let the chips fall where they may. And I'm going to make mistakes. And when I do, it's cool. I'm going to learn from them. And I'm not going to make the same mistake twice, dude.
Yeah.
So, such a killer point. Okay, man, we're rolling now. What is your favorite thing about owning a business, Will?
The respect I command. I think in this world, one of the major things that I want is respect.
Yeah.
And I think that starting a business, I think that a lot of people know that they'll never be able to do what I've already done.
Yep.
And they won't say it out loud. They won't, as men in the world, you don't get a lot of outside validation. I think that especially as you're growing, whether it's your peers, friends, family, whoever, sometimes, you're looking for just someone to let you know you're on the right path. That's why I'm so grateful for my father, when he was alive, right? He would give me, because you want validation from people you respect too.
Yes.
You don't want validation from people that you don't care about their opinion. You want validation from the people who you respect and whose opinions matter. I think that when you create something, whenever you do something that's hard, people are going to respect it because they're going to know what you're doing isn't easy.
You know the best part about all that too? You can separate and filter out the winners and the losers so quickly.
Quick, yeah.
Because the winners respect it.
Yeah.
And the losers try to pull you down.
Yeah.
And the second you see somebody on social media or in your real life, or you hear somebody said something sideways about what you're doing, when you're just doing something positive, okay, snake is a snake over there.
Right.
So it's the best filter when you start doing hard shit, dude.
Yes.
Yep.
And to your point, you can't create that filter unless you're taking action yourself.
Yep.
If you're just like everybody else and you're all in the same, doing the same things, then it's a lot easier for the snakes to hide in your circle.
Yep.
The worst enemy is someone that's close to you.
Can be.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
they can hurt you the worst if they decide they want to. That's for sure.
Right.
Yep.
So I think that when you take action and you do what's hard and you start to gain success, that creates a respect level from both men and women.
Yeah.
And I still have a long, long way to go. But I would say the treatment that I get from some of these women where, I would say I kind of held them in high regard. And I was like, man, they will only talk to, pro athletes or guys, millionaires or whatever it is, right? As I'm continuing to progress, the respect that they show is something that's really eye-opening to me.
Yeah.
And it's whether it's, being stopped, out in public or, an Instagram, message or whatever it is. I think that women understand that, certain men are just built different. Yeah. And they can sense that too.
Yep.
I think men can sense it. I think both sides can sense it. So I think the level of respect that you gain, obviously, you want to be successful, you want to take care of your family, you want to make that impact, right? Ultimately, you start a business to help people and create positive impact.
Yep. But
for me personally, my favorite thing, I think the respect that I've been getting shown is something that I really love, and that it drives me to continue want to just work harder so I can get more of that.
Yeah, dude, and Yeah, this is a smart guy, ladies and gentlemen. You guys got to
I appreciate you.
everybody make this podcast just a weekly listen because he's hitting on some like eternal truths of the universe here. So, yeah, man, you start the good people come out when you start doing the right things, and you're like, holy shit, I can gain attention from awesome people. The more and more I do this, then it makes you want to do it more. Then even higher level, cooler, smarter, richer people want to start talking to you and stuff. And it's this like self-perpetuating cycle once you really catch some momentum in your business and success. And boy, it sure is addicting, because what it ultimately signifies is validation that you are like a net positive to the world. And winners want to do the right thing. Listen, we all make mistakes, dude. I've done a bunch of shit in my life I'm not proud of. I know you're in the same boat too. That's what we are as humans. But man, winners want to be doing the right thing and providing value to people and making a good impact. And once you start getting a taste of that, dude, somebody tells you, oh, you changed my perspective. You did this. You helped me in this way. Boy, it's freaking powerful.
And I would also add too that one thing I've learned is that when you start winning, you're never tired. And so, like, to give you an example, like when I was playing sports, when we would play basketball and we had a game, if we got down 20 points in the second quarter,
fatigue,
all of a sudden I'm breathing heavy, I'm tired, I need water. When we got up 20 points, I could go all day.
Bro.
And I'm trying to get up. I'm trying to pound you into the ground.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to finish you.
Yep.
And the same thing now in business. When you start having success, that's why I encourage people, like whatever your goals and dreams are, attack it and go after it. Because once you start seeing some success, there are plenty of nights where I'll sleep 2 or 3 hours and wake up the next day ready to go.
Yeah.
Because that success, you just don't get tired.
Yep.
And I think that will allow you to reach heights that you never thought were possible, but you got to create that momentum first and start seeing some positivity and seeing some positive momentum, because when you're winning, you do not get tired.
Bro, it'd be like that. You're up 25 points with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You hit a fast break. You're windmill dunking on fools, bro.
Yeah.
You're not tired.
Energy you didn't know you had. Yeah.
You've been running up and down the court as hard as you can the whole game. So I could be tired in 5 minutes when the game's over, bitch. Yeah.
Right.
No, that is so sick. Well, dude, with that, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and I got a bunch of more awesome questions for you.
Sounds good, man.
All right, and we're back. Sorry about that, folks. So for those that don't know, I have the holy grail of reasons that you got to go to the bathroom a lot. I chug about 500 milligrams of caffeine a day. I always tell people, I go out to the club, bars, whatever. Do you want anything to drink? No. I'm more of a caffeine guy. Caffeine's my drug of choice. I'm not into alcohol. It's never done anything good for me.
Yeah.
I drink 5 Saratogas a day. That's about 1.25 gallons of water.
Yeah.
And then I had a very significant injury 2.5 years ago where I fell 52 feet off of a roof. And among other things, I ruptured my bladder and my urethra during that injury. So all of those things combined.
Right.
Your boy takes a couple trips to the bathroom here and there, so forgive me, please. But anyway, so cool. We've got what your favorite thing about owning a business is. Now, of course, as we all know, there is no light without dark, Will.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite thing about owning a business? Let's hear the bad.
You have to realize that it is difficult to make a dollar, especially when you're first starting out. Some of the people that you think are supporting you, they may tell you that they support you, but I've had a lot of instances where, people will buy, products from my competitors instead of me.
Yeah.
I think that realizing that there's a whole bunch of things like business development and marketing and editing and bookkeeping, there's a lot of parts of the business that aren't fun and sexy that are very important that you're going to have to do.
Yep.
I think that you may think you're working hard. A lot of times you're not seeing any immediate results. That delayed gratification is something that is not fun. but it's all a part of the process. You have to realize that what you're doing is hard. If it was easy, everyone would have a successful business.
Yeah, man.
If
We'd
it
all
was easy, we'd all be living in a castle and we'd all be rich.
balling.
It was easy. It's not. And this is part of the reason why. So not knowing what you don't know, wondering what questions should you be asking, wondering if the time you're spending doing something is even worth it. The self-doubt when you're not seeing the immediate results. There are a lot of things where I can see why people don't want to own a business, and I can see why people quit. Yeah. I could definitely understand that, but my biggest thing is I don't believe failure is real unless you quit. I think if you don't quit, it's impossible to fail. You're just going to keep learning and keep making adjustments until you get there.
Yep.
So that's really one of my core beliefs, and so I think that's why people like us, have so much success coming to us, because we understand that core principle. So.
Dude, and that's like, so if you ever played sports in your life, which of course both of us did, man, like you learn so quickly, like, okay, like everybody starts out and they suck, right? There was a point in your life, I don't know when it was, you sucked at basketball.
Yes.
You were not any good.
Yes.
I don't know how fast you improved. I don't know any of that, but what I can tell you for sure is the first 50 times that this guy went on a court, he sucked.
Yeah.
And what you learn through sports is if you just continue and you try, God loves a trier, bro. And here's the nice thing about how the world is today. A lot of people just don't try. So it's so easy to stand out by just giving any reasonable amount of effort day in and day out. And if you do that, it's actually impossible to not get better at something.
Yeah.
You will never try at something. Let's say you take 6 months and let's say golf, okay? You've never golfed before. You start day one, you're trash, but twice a week you go try to golf. On month 6, you will be better.
You will be better.
By some percentage, whether it's 1% better or 100,000% better, there will be some percentage that you improve. And dude, the value, especially as a man, boy, if you're a man out there and you've got sons or a mother, this applies to just parents in general. Make sure your sons are in some sort of sports. I don't care if it's golf. I don't care if it's bowling. I don't care what it is. Something to where they start out, they suck, and they stick with it for X period of time, and they get better and better, dude. So, and business is the same thing.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep. So when you really build that muscle early as a child, boy, it's and you become at peace with the discomfort that comes with sucking at first, because you're gonna be bad. And I always say too, man, if somebody could have impressed upon me how hard starting a company was gonna be, I never would have done it.
Yeah.
But boy, am I glad I did now, man, because it's just, you're right, it's so much stress. I always say this too: if you want to start a company, okay, make peace with the fact that you're gonna do a bunch of shit for free for a long period of time. You got to be comfortable with working 90 hours a week and making no money for 3 weeks in a row. And then on the 4th week, you make a little bit of money.
So true.
You make enough to pay for the things you must pay for.
Yeah.
And then you start over again. And you keep doing that until eventually, hopefully, you're at a position where you've got excess.
Yeah.
But that excess takes a minute to build up, dude. So, and you're exactly right. As long as you don't quit, even if you go bankrupt, you can start a new company. There's the nice thing about life, dude. We've got unlimited. It's not at the casino, right? You go into the casino, you got 10 grand. If you put that 10 grand on Banker on Baccarat and it hits player, you lost that 10 grand. And you can't go back up to the casino cashier and say, hey, I'd like another 10 grand. I want to go put this on Banker again. In life, you can just keep doing that unlimited times.
Yeah.
Like, we have until you die, until you're in the ground, there is no limit on tries. We can continue to reload our chips and put them back on the table. And eventually, if you had unlimited money to do that at the casino, you would win millions of dollars.
You would win, yeah.
So that's what we have in life, folks, is we paid nothing to get this, and we have unlimited tries. Why would we ever stop? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Would you ever just stop trying to win if there was a possibility that you could one day? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So,
exactly.
Again, young kids out there, you got no matter how bad shit gets, you can always reload your chips and throw it on black, dude, and fuck it. Maybe it'll hit, maybe it won't. You can try again.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's so sick. And again, showing how positive this guy is, I ask what's the worst thing about owning a business, and by the end of it, he's telling you how great all the negative shit about owning a business is.
Yeah. I mean, but that is though. You do have to enjoy the journey,
Yes.
and like the difficult times is what makes it hard. But in the end, when you do what's hard, that's what people respect. So
Yep. And dude, and that's it's impossible not to win if you just keep doing that until you die.
Yeah.
And listen, and if you die not having won, here's the thing. I always say this. This is one of the main reasons I started my business. I didn't want to die having the regret that I didn't try.
Yeah.
So success or failure to me was like actually irrelevant. Like I literally said to myself, if I'm broke doing this, I don't really care. What I'm not going to die with is any regrets. And that's worth more than any amount of money. You don't want to be 92 years old in a hospital thinking, fuck, why didn't I just try a little bit harder, dude?
what could have been?
What? And so I know, and listen, I had this happen, right? Again, 52-foot fall off a roof, and I almost died. And I was laying in my hospital bed and my nursing facility. I mean, it took me 13 weeks to recover from it. And like every day I was thanking God that I was still there, and I was smiling because I was like, hey man, if I had died, I wouldn't have died with any regrets about trying.
Yeah.
Like I tried my ass off. It
Yeah.
almost killed me. I tried so hard.
Yeah. Yep.
So just don't die with any regrets of not trying. Okay. Last business question, then we're going to move on to some dating stuff, which is going to be fun.
Okay.
But my favorite business question to ask somebody, business and money subject. In your estimation, what is money? What is it?
Freedom. The ability to do what you want, to make people. It's respect and it's freedom. I think at the end of the day, I see some rich and successful people have opinions I don't agree with or that I think are crazy. People buy into it just because they're successful. I think that if you want the ability to do what you want, live where you want, not get stuck, travel, whatever you want in life, I think money will help you get there. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not one of those guys that are like, or one of those people that are like, oh, money isn't important and there's more to life than money. I mean, I'm
loser talk.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people.
Yep.
I think it's very, very important. People I've heard, money doesn't make you happy. I'll tell you what, money makes me happy. I'll tell you that.
And who the fuck, like, why are we placing so much importance on happiness, Will? Like, as a man, and truly, and this is a genuine question, like, I don't know about you. Nobody ever guaranteed me that I was going to be happy 100% of the time.
Well, and then I don't prioritize happiness.
Like, I do a whole bunch of shit every day
Yeah.
that makes me not happy.
Yeah.
That is productive. That's going to get me where I want to be one day.
Listen. There's a lot of days I don't feel like going to the gym. There's a lot of days I don't feel like working.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of days I would rather do other stuff.
Yep.
I do a lot of things. My life is a lot of things that don't make me happy, actually. But as a man, I don't prioritize my happiness. I prioritize being productive,
Yep.
and becoming a man that people respect and want to be around. I think that men who strive to be happy, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't think that those guys are gonna get any fulfillment in life from women, from their peers. I think if you're looking for comfort as a man, you're not going to win because there are too many guys that are willing to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I believe me and you, there are too many men that are willing to literally suffer in order to win.
Yep.
And so you have to have that mindset in order to get what you want. And I think when you finally get the lifestyle and the success that you want, no one's going to care like what it took to get there. People aren't going to be like, oh my God, like, you went through all this struggle or whatever. They're just going to see the end result, and you have to accept that.
Yep.
And that's something that I've definitely accepted. But yeah, I agree with you. Being happy as a man, happiness is for like women and children.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, the only thing that makes like real men happy is making sure that their women and children are
Yeah, making other people
like,
happy.
That's
yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
where I'm at the club, I'm on the phone running the empire.
Yeah.
Everybody else is having a good time around me. I'm chilling. I'm cool. Right? I might be stressed out in that moment, but I am happy that everybody else around me is having fun.
You grew up remembering like your dad at Christmas getting like some underwear and like some socks for Christmas, but everybody else is having the time. Mom, kids, like everybody else is got everything they wanted.
Yeah.
Dad is happy because he knows that the work that he put in is what allowed everybody else to be happy.
Yep.
And I think that's where your fulfillment comes from as a man.
And I say this too, like, listen, you're going to be happy a certain percentage of this time in life, and you're going to be unhappy a certain percentage.
Right.
And that just is what it is. But you shouldn't try to control your inputs. Don't try to control the happiness output.
Your happiness shouldn't dictate what you do.
And don't be stupid. Don't do things that actively are going to really kill happiness either.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying, whatever. But, no, the point you're making is awesome. So, and you're right. Money is freedom, but also I would caution people, don't give money too much respect because remember this at the end of the day, boys and girls, men and women. It's numbers on a screen, okay? So there are things more important. I hate when people say, oh, money's not everything. Like I said, that's loser talk. Okay, what's your point? Are you saying it's not important at all? Like,
are you saying you'd rather be broke?
Would you rather be broke? Like, okay, that's like a little bit of a cope, right?
Yeah.
But on the other side of the same coin, don't give it too much respect because one of my favorite lines in any movie ever is in The Matrix. For those of you that have seen The Matrix, I'll give you a short brief of the scene that I'm saying, and maybe we'll overlay this scene. Neo goes into the Matrix, and there's this girl that's bending the spoon, and she says, don't try to bend the spoon. That would be impossible. Realize that there is no spoon. Okay? Once you realize money isn't anything, actually, you can manipulate it and make it do what you want.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop enslaving yourself to money, and you're like, oh, guess what? If I go bankrupt, I'm not going to fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Or if I lose $100 here or there, whatever, it's going to replenish. Let me tell you something, folks, in case nobody's told you recently. There is unlimited money in this world.
Yeah.
Okay, walk around Vegas for 5 seconds. You are seeing trillions of dollars all around you.
Yeah, you need to like really think about that. That's a great point you make. Like every building you see, every car, every street that's paved, every sidewalk, all of that is money. Like there's literally trillions of dollars around you when you walk outside.
So the scarcity mentality people have, oh, this is the last 5 girls in Vegas are bad with this shit, dude. They're just trying to get that next $500.
Yeah.
That next $500. That next $500. There ain't no shortage of $500 around here, dude. Like you can replenish it if you're doing the right things. So I always just would tell people that respect money, but not too much. Don't give it too much weight, and make sure you are manipulating it the way you want it, and it's not manipulating you, because that is being enslaved to freaking paper and nothing and numbers.
Yeah. That's a great point by you.
Yeah. So
That's well said.
Awesome. Well, that'll finish the business and money section. Now, like I said, I can't help myself. This is your realm. I got to ask you some dating questions, my friend. So let's see. Where do we want to start here? I'll ask you the same question you ask everybody at the start of your podcast.
Okay.
What are your views on modern dating? I'd like to hear that. How do you feel about it?
Well, so I believe that the realities of modern dating are a lot different than what we see on social media, and that's why I wanted to start my podcast. I feel like you always hear, especially in Vegas, but I've learned that people around the world say this. I've seen people in Lebanon say this. I've heard people in Nashville, Scottsdale, they all say the dating market is trash. Mm-hmm. I feel like people are quick to say that, but in my experience, I know so many great people here in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. I know so many great guys, aspirational business guys, strong, confident men, just like me and you. All they want is a son to play catch with in the front yard. That's all they want. Yep. I know so many women, great women, supportive, nurturing, successful, beautiful, that just want a family. They want a husband, they want kids. These are great, great people that I personally know. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, I'm looking around like all these great people, all single, all have these negative views on the dating market. Okay, that's crazy. And then I get on social media and all the content is so negative.
Yep.
And it's divisive.
Yep.
So that was really the motivating factor for why I wanted to start a podcast. Like, how can I help bridge the gap and help bring people back together? I can start my own podcast where I can make sure that the content is geared towards addressing pain points in the dating market, having both sides come in. And if you notice, I only bring in people that have something going for them, right? Because I bring in people that I know that other people are trying to attract, right? Because we want to hear their opinions. It goes back to what we said earlier. You care about the opinions of people that matter, the opinions of people that you respect, right? So I make sure, like, when I'm screening people for my show, do you have something going for you to where, okay, if I bring you in and have you talk people around, like, okay, this is someone that I can respect. You know, this is for guys, this is a woman that I would, you know, be attracted to, that I would want to, you know, potentially like date. Same thing for women. The guys that I bring on, are they successful? Do they speak well? Do they, is it a guy that women would be attracted to? I'm always trying to account for that so that when they talk, people are like, okay, yeah, I can see what they're saying. And the same people that people have these negative thoughts about in the dating market, I want to bring those people in and have them talk so we can try and bridge the gap and bring people back together, right? And so I think that my way that I can try and fix the problem is to start my own podcast, and that's why I did it. I do believe that there are so many great people and a lot of great relationships that aren't happening because people have these preconceived notions about what everyone's going to do. Like, we think we have all the answers, and I want to prove that we don't. And we need to be more open, and we need to get back to the way things used to be when men and women realize that they need each other. Everyone going their separate ways. Women, oh, I don't need a man. Men be like, okay, well, I'm not even going to try and talk to girls, or I'm just going to use women or whatever. It's like, no. We both need each other. Men are great at certain things. Women are great at other things. We're at our best when we're both working together, and that's what I'm trying to create.
So, and this is awesome because, again, I've only had Will ask me these questions. I didn't know any of his positions. And you want to know the funny thing? My answer was basically the same thing when you asked me, right? Is like, listen, I hear all this bullshit about the dating market, but I have a great experience, man. Like, I treat people good. They treat me good. Like, I'm selective with who I'm around. If you do that, like, it's crazy how different the experience you can have versus what everybody else talks about.
Some of the stories I hear, I can't relate.
Yeah.
I've never had a woman do this crazy stuff to me.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's why I'm just like, and you have to be able to separate like what you see on your screen, on your phone, on TV versus the real world. You have to go out there. You have to be able to think for yourself. You can't just believe what other people say and what you see on your phone. You have to go outside in the real world and develop your own opinions. That's what I did. And I said, what I'm seeing in the real world does not match at all with what I see online.
And listen, you can curate, you can back to it, you can control what you can control.
Yeah.
You can curate. Listen, you have talked to, no doubt, a bunch of women that would have fucking ruined your life. But guess what? 5 minutes in, 5 days, 5 hours, whatever the number is, some red flag got set off in your mind, and you moved on.
You moved on.
And you went and found somebody more higher, like, oh, don't talk to that person anymore. All good. Here's the thing, dude. If you do that quick, that person can't hurt you.
Yeah.
But if you get 5 months in with that person, that's when they light your fucking house on fire. Okay? So it's our job as adults, men and women, if we see people that are crazy, not to engage in fucking relationships with them. Thank you very much. Like, I don't want to hear, I'm so sick of hearing people talk about all these bad experiences they've had. You picked that person. You decided to go down that path. And listen, there's exceptions, there's psychopaths, there's all kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. The exception doesn't disprove the rule. In general, first of all, it's your job to prevent yourself from danger in this life. So if you're good at doing that and you're a good judge of character, you can mitigate 99.99% of the problems that everybody else is experiencing.
I totally agree with that. I also think that there are some people out there that have a fear of being alone.
Yep.
And I think that some people, they haven't created a life that they love and enjoy for themselves, and they need other people, so they find themselves staying in bad relationships out of a fear of being alone. And I think that's key too. I think that you have to be okay doing things alone, and I specialize in that. Like, I'm the guy, I'll go out to a nice restaurant and eat by myself. I don't wait on people. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it.
Hell yeah.
And like, I don't put like my self-worth in my relationship status. I'm not waiting on people. I'm not, oh, I'm a failure if I'm not married or I'm not in a relationship. My life is great as is. If I'm in a relationship, they're going to add value to my life.
Yes.
And if you're not adding value, then I'm good at as is.
Yep.
And I think that's another filter that you can create
Yep.
to avoid a lot of these wild stories that we hear.
And dude, if everybody just did this is what we were talking about on your podcast. Be more selective.
Yeah.
Have a higher standard.
Have a high standard.
Don't be rude to people. Listen, you don't have to cuss somebody out if you decide that they're not the
Yeah.
person for you, but you can just politely move on. Okay, sounds good. I'll text you tomorrow, and then maybe you do, maybe you don't, right? You can lightly let people off. So, yeah.
And
man.
people should look forward to meeting your standard. When I hear
Yeah.
women say, "Oh, I need a man that's above 6 feet tall and makes over 200,000 a year and all that," most men think that's bad. I look at them, I'm like, that's great, because I'm over 6 feet tall. I make over 200,000. So like, if I meet your standard, I'm not gonna have any competition.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
So like, you want a guy, you want a person that looks forward to the challenge of meeting your standard. That's
Yep.
who you want. You don't want people that are gonna criticize you for having a high standard.
Yep.
Never lower your standards, because when you do, that's when you get into trouble, as you just said.
And by the way, it can be a sliding scale. So for all you men out there, I mean, listen, I'm 5'11". I'm right there, dude. So I feel like I count.
And yeah, exactly.
So
you're
but no, the point is, so, you know, it's a sliding scale, right? So just make sure if you're lacking in a certain area, you're not lacking in the other, right? So we all got to max out who we are. If you're 5'7", but you make $450,000 a year, and you're nice, and you drive the Lambo,
Yeah.
and you got a big house, and you got a good family, and you're funny, and you're charismatic, and whatever, guess what? You can. So don't be discouraged by women's
Exactly.
standard. Remember, if everything else is in line, but you're lacking somewhere else, again, controlling what you can
Yeah.
control, you're always going to have great success. I mean, my VP is not the tallest guy on the planet. His wife is the coolest lady you'll ever
Yeah.
meet, because every other thing about him is
Yeah.
on fucking point.
And I will say too, women are very flexible. If,
Yes.
if a woman likes you, she may say, "Oh, I require this and that." If
Yep.
a woman likes you, she's very, very flexible.
Yes. Yep. So just make sure you're yeah. I just want to make that point. Don't get discouraged, men, if you're not there yet. By the way, if you're not making $200,000 a year yet, but you're 21, just make sure you're on that path.
Yeah.
Women do, like we talked about this. Men don't necessarily value female ambition, but women. You could, if you're a 20-year-old kid and a woman can see that you're 1,000% going to be a millionaire one day,
Yeah.
you get whatever woman
Yeah.
you want, bro.
Yeah.
So-
I definitely agree. Yeah.
So cool. Awesome. All right. What are the things that a woman could do that would actually cause you to marry her, Will? That's what I want to know. Actually pull the trigger on it. What would happen and you'd be like, I can't live without this girl? Tell me those
You
things.
want to know what I like? I've had women that take the initiative to fill holes in my life that I don't see. And I'll give you an example. So there was a girl when I moved into my house. She came over, and I didn't have any placemats yet.
Yep.
on my table.
Yep.
And I'm like, whatever. I just moved in, whatever. I'll go grab my plate, go eat, whatever.
Yep.
And then she took initiative to look around, went to the store, sent me pictures. Hey, do you like these? I'm like, yeah, they placemats, like whatever.
Yep.
And she's like, cool. Like I know she didn't have any, so I'm gonna buy these for you.
Sweetheart. Angel.
It's like, listen, like, yes, you do need to be, a good vibe. I'm big on vibes too. Like when you're in a relationship, you're not always going to be looking your best, dressed up, and going out to a nice dinner. I need to be able to sit there and watch paint dry with you
Yep.
and have fun.
Yep.
We need to have like that kind of vibe. But when you go out of your way to add value, like I said before, I would have never bought those placemats. I would just kept going for it as I was. She took the initiative. She went, got them, paid for them. Now, granted, they probably cost like $8, whatever. But it's
Not the point.
It's the action.
Yep.
She took initiative, went over there, and it made everything look better and made my house feel like a home.
Yep.
And she took that initiative to do that for me. I think when women do that for me, that's something where I'm like, okay, I have to put you in a different category.
Dude.
Now you're somebody that I would consider being serious with. The fact that you cared, the fact that you paid attention, the fact that you went and took the action and just went ahead and did it, that to me is like, okay, this is a woman that I would build a life with.
Dude, preaching to the choir. There is nothing sexier on the planet. Ladies, I'm giving you game here. Just do this. You'll never have a problem ever again. There's nothing sexier than a woman who just does shit unprompted because she thinks it's going to help you.
Yeah.
Just for no reason.
Yeah.
Like $8, $0, whatever. She just legitimately in her heart was like, I want to help this man. Like, and when a girl does that, I've had a few girls do that too. And listen, it didn't work out, whatever. I'm not married yet. It's all good. But boy, like you said, those are the girls that you start measuring. If that doesn't work out and you go on throughout your dating life, you start measuring other girls against that.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to need a chick who actively is seeking out ways to improve my life just because she wants to. She doesn't want money from me.
Right.
She doesn't want it. She just, in her heart, wants me to feel loved and like she cares about me and does it without me asking.
Yeah.
Girls, that is your superpower. If you do that for a man, I say this, okay? Girls ask me what my type is. I'm going to give you guys a game too, and this is every man, just so you know. This isn't just me. I just want a girl that never tells me no. But guess what? If a girl does that for me, I'm not going to be able to tell her no either.
Right. Yeah. And that is very well said.
Yeah.
And also too, like, I love women because they're women.
Yep.
I don't need a woman that has like masculine, manly traits. So like going back to the placemats, like a woman would see that and notice that. I
don't give a fuck.
Don't care. I do not care.
Yep.
But a woman walks in and she's like, this
Yep.
dude doesn't have any placemats. How's he eating his food?
Yep.
And so that to me is why like men need women and women need men. And I think like that's a classic example. And I'll never forget this because like I told her like, I have to admit like it does look better. The table does look better with the placemat. Like she looked at the colors of everything in the kitchen and everything and they match. It was great.
Yep.
So like, yeah, I want a woman because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Like those feminine traits and things the way you see the world is different from how I see it. But that's what makes us great together.
And when a woman combines like that with positivity, right? Like the way a woman acts and sees the world with a positive attitude. I mean, we could go on and on all day. Like, ladies, maintain a positive attitude around your man.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to worry about him cheating, man.
Yeah.
If he is like, oh my God, this girl, talking about my VP, his name's Aaron. Shout out Aaron and Autumn. Like, if you're ever around this couple, she is just a spark plug of fun. And I'm always like, dude, I understand why you're married. Like, you get around your woman and she just freaking charges you up, right?
Yeah.
Like, gives you energy to do whatever. And they're like my example of like what a married couple should be.
Yeah.
They're madly in love the whole time. Dude, we were driving last time we were down here. It was like shortly after we did the podcast. They were in the back seat of the Lambo, and I just hear her looking at I'm looking in the rearview mirror. She's looking at him, just going, "You know, you're my best friend, right?"
See.
Like shit
Yeah.
like that, dude. A girl does that to you.
See, that's-
Obviously, you're married to that chick.
Yeah.
And like, you will never. This girl will never embarrass him around in public.
Yeah.
And he says it doesn't happen in private either. Like, she is just constantly very conscientious of the optics of her being with him and making him look good and being positive and all this stuff, dude. And it's like that kind of stuff, man. Girls, put it this way, there are things you can do in this world that will increase your chances of having a good man decide, I want to marry this woman.
Yeah.
And I would really recommend to all of you, just try to figure out as many of those things as you can do that you're good at. And if you want to be a married woman with a family one day, there's things you can do to swing the odds in your favor.
Absolutely.
So awesome. All right. On to a little bit less of a serious topic, but could be. We'll see. I'm interested to hear your answer to this. How do you feel about a single woman having pets? Does it affect your relationship with a woman? Does it not? And I'll give you the basis of my question.
Okay.
Before you answer. I find it extremely strange that a woman will prioritize feeding and walking her dog over finding a good man.
Yeah.
And I've had some experiences with this recently where it's like, if you spent half as much time giving a fuck about finding a good man as you did your dog who's going to die in 4 years, you would have been married and on a farm right now with all the animals you ever wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear your opinion. How does a woman having a couple dogs or a cat or whatever affect a relationship in your eyes, if at all?
Okay, so first I'm gonna answer your question first. Me personally, I am not a huge like animal guy. I don't have any pets.
Yep.
So personally, to me, it's something to where if you have a pet, I would do my best to like make you and your pet feel comfortable, and especially when I come over, I'll like pet it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've never dated a woman. Actually, I did date one woman that had a dog, but when I would go over, she would like put it in like the cage or whatever. I think she could tell that I wasn't really a fan.
And if I can pause you real quick, just so you know, ladies, successful men who work a lot generally aren't into the pet thing, because guess what? A dog would have like not a real good life.
Yeah.
Being at one of these guys' house who works 80 hours a week. So just know that if that's the kind of man you want, you're going to have to make some concessions there. But continue on.
But like, yeah, so like to answer your question, I'm not really like super like pet guy. I don't like have animals or anything. I would say though, going back to our point earlier about controlling what you can control, if I had a woman that was prioritizing her dog more than me, I would say to myself, why am I not adding enough value to make her prioritize me instead of her dog?
Winner mentality.
Yeah, so again, you have to take responsibility for everything that happens to you.
Yep.
If a woman is prioritizing an animal over you, that should say more about you, and you need to look in the mirror. So
all right.
That would be my advice.
Let me play devil's advocate
Okay.
to what you just said. What if I'm just like, look, I'm not even going to take the chance of having a woman prioritize her dog over me. I'm just going to date girls that don't have them.
That would be smarter.
That's controlling what you can control, right?
That's actually a better solution.
I win, dude. I win. Yes.
yeah. Because that would absolutely work.
That eliminates that possibility.
What I was about to say was that now there are some people that are dog lovers, and no matter what you do, you can be the perfect man.
Exactly.
You do not come before that dog.
Yeah. Listen,
period.
I'm just dating a girl with no dog. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear, I can't come over tonight. I got to wake up at 5 o'clock to walk my fucking dog. Hey, man, I could pay for your whole life forever. Who cares about your dog, dude? Ladies, let me say this. If that's a priority in your life, and we're joking around, and I love you girls. And listen, my dad was a dog breeder growing up. I spent that's part of the thing with me is I thoroughly scratched the pet itch as a child, and I don't ever have to do that again. But in all seriousness, like I would recommend strongly wait to get the pets until you've got the family. That way you can at least justify it by saying,
that's smart.
I've got kids. Because here's the thing, dude. How am I supposed to take you to Miami for a week if you don't have anybody to watch the fucking dog, dude? You want a good man, right? How are you? What, you can't travel with me? You got to live your whole life around this thing, like.
Or she tries to take the pet with you.
Or you guys get a pet together, and now it's like your kid and all this bullshit, right? It's like, hey man, if you want one of the best men on the planet, maybe just wait on that. Like, and here's the flip side of that. Really good man marries a girl, she waits. Yeah, babe, we got a house with 10 acres in the backyard. Get as many dogs as you want, right? So do a little bit of delayed gratification on that thing. Listen, ladies, I know you want something that just loves you no matter what and isn't going to disappoint you. I understand. I get it.
Yeah, they're going to say, I don't want to trust a man. Men suck. I'd rather have my dog loves me.
Again, focus on finding a man that treats you like the dog does and then get the dogs. Because guess what? How am I supposed to take you to Greece if you can't find anybody to watch the golden retriever, dude? So... that was a little bit of a fun question.
Yeah.
And I predict that if we clip that one up, we're gonna get some pretty heavy reactions on that one.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. But your solution is 100% foolproof.
There you go.
Like,
foolproof.
So people, if you do have this problem, I recommend that you take Gage's solution.
There you go.
Because that will work.
And listen, I say this, and this is in all seriousness, a green flag to me is if a girl doesn't have pets, because it's like, okay, I stand a chance of being the focal point of this woman's life. I at least stand a chance. If she has a dog, I don't stand a chance, dude. She's going to love the dog more than she loves me. And I get it, but I don't want to. And here's the thing is men, we can control, we vote with our feet, right? We talked about this on your podcast.
Yeah.
if I'm given the chance between a girl that's a 10 out of 10 here and a 10 out of 10 here in every way, but I think that there's a 10%, 20%, 30% likelihood that this woman's going to give me more attention and love me more, which one am I going to pick, all things else being equal?
Yeah.
So ladies, I would really like and encourage you to ask this question. It's the most important question that a woman could ask. What do the men that I want?
Okay, that's deep.
Let's say that one more time. I'm going to say it extra slow so everybody hears it and understands. Because a lot of girls walk through this world caring what they want, but they never ask themselves the question, my perfect man that I would marry, that I would give everything to, I would give babies to, I would do whatever he asked, that man that I would submit to, that I love, what does that man want? And I would encourage you to try to become a little bit more like whatever that man wants. And your likelihood of attracting that man is going to skyrocket through the roof, okay? That doesn't mean you can't be yourself. That doesn't mean you have to lose who you are. But if people spend a little more time saying, you know what, I think the most successful, sweetest man on the planet is going to be more likely to be attracted to me if I can give him my full attention and I don't have a dog, maybe I'll wait on the dog a few years. And if you just came at it, and guys, I could apply this thing to guys too. What do the women that I want? And I think men think a lot more about this question. Yeah. That's why we drive the fancy cars and we have the nice houses and we want the money, because we're like, okay, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I can sleep in a cardboard box. But chicks would, like, my dream girl is gonna not pay attention to me if I'm homeless. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get it in, right? So ladies, if you can find it in your heart to ask yourself that question every once in a while, I promise you, from the bottom of my loving heart, you're going to find some success.
And to your point, I think this brings up a big issue in modern dating, right? I think that dating and relationships for men is a lot more strategic and logical, because we have to, a lot of times, make the approach. I think dating and relationships for women is more organic, because they can just go outside and just exist and get hit on.
And they're going to get attention.
Yeah. So I think that, like you just said, I mean, I think about that all the time. Like, what does the woman that I want in a man?
Yep.
And I try to aspire to be that. Yep. I think women may lose sight of that sometimes, because they can just be themselves, and they have men, whether it's DMs or hitting on them or sending them drinks or whatever. I think it's a great point by you that the ideal man that you want, what does he want?
And then guess what every girl says when you're like, hey, why are you not in a relationship? Oh, all the guys that like me, I don't like them. Okay, so you're making our point here how, you got all the attention in the world, but you're not being selective enough, and we could go around and around on all that. So, okay, couple more questions. We got about 20 minutes left, so I want to hammer through some of this. All right, Will. Have you, and I fucking already know the answer to this question, have you ever been in a 50-50 relationship in your life?
No, and I won't allow that. Yeah.
Deal breaker.
I have a similar mindset to you, where I look forward to the challenge of providing and protecting. Yeah. Even if my woman has money and has successful, making the money is my job. Yep. That's why I do what I do. And I want to make sure, I'm a guy that, like, when I get into a relationship, I don't ever want my woman to get on Instagram and see, like, some other girl, they're in, the south of France, and she's looking at me like, well, we can't even afford that. Like, when you're with me, I like the term you use on my show. Like, your life is effectively free.
Yes.
That's what I want to provide to my women, because I know if I'm with you, it's going to be worth it. You deserve what I'm doing for you, because I'm getting it back in return, in things that are helping me and helping me be a better man as well. So no, I've never been in a 50-50 relationship. Even when I was a kid, when I would go on dates in high school, my dad would give me money and be like, hey, listen.
Pay for this.
Yeah, like, you're paying for everything. No matter, he would give me extra money. Like, I don't know what comes up. You may want to, like, pivot and do something else. Here's money. Yeah. My mom too. My mom, to this day, my mom is my biggest helper. My mom will go out and be like, hey, do you like this girl? Hey, what about, like she is trying, like, they're, like, my biggest supporters. And it's always been like, no, Will, like, you provide and you protect. So no, I've never been in a 50-50 relationship, and I never will.
Well, I love it. Again, folks, that was a setup, 100%. I knew the answer to this question already. And I just, ladies out there, I want you to know that there are an amount of men that want to do that for you. You can't believe, okay? And I get, we talked about
Take
this.
pride in it.
Dude, take pride in it. I would never call a girl a gold digger. Like, listen, if that's all you want, if your first DM to me is, hey, let's go out, do you have $500 for me? Yeah, you're never going to get a response, right? But if a girl expects me to pay for dates, to provide, to, I'm never asking a girl to kick in for anything ever. Like, again, I think girls have this messed up where they think there's a lack of guys who want to do this.
Yeah.
And there's really not. Again, you just got to avoid broke boys. Those are the ones that don't want to do it.
Yeah.
The guys who have resources and are out here hustling, we would love nothing more. We just want somebody to take care of. Like, and how difficult that is to find a girl that's literally like, okay, I don't just want $1,000 right now. I want to be taken care of for life. Like, if you could just, ladies, I would tell you this too, switch your thinking from short term to long term. Quit trying to get the next 500 or 1,000 or 10,000. There are men in this world that will pay for your life forever.
Yeah.
Until you die.
Yeah.
If you make him happy for 1 year, you never have to think about anything ever again, ever, 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 ever again.
Yeah.
So if you just can try to start thinking a little bit more long term, boy, there are all my buddies share this view. Like, I want to take care of my woman. It's a pleasure. It's fun. It makes me feel good inside.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us out here. The majority of men who make, let's say, over $150,000 a year would happily, if a woman will not stress us out, will add to our lives, will fuck us whenever we say, will whatever, right? All this stuff. Will cook us food when we say, will not argue with us all the time. We will do whatever you want, ladies. Like, my daughter is 7 years old. She's got me wrapped around my finger because guess what? All she does is smile at me and tell me, thank you, Daddy. Okay? So you can apply. I always say this too. I want a woman who treats me like my daughter does. My daughter wants to help me. She loves me. She just is a spark plug. She's so happy all the time because guess what? I make her life good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what men want in a relationship too. Like, and if you do that, you're never gonna have a trouble with a man providing for you. So
I mean, that sounds amazing to me.
Hey, yeah, that's what we're all shooting for. And boy, isn't it crazy how hard it is to find a chick that's just like, yeah, you can take care of me. Like, this should not be so hard, girls. It really shouldn't.
Well, this goes to a bigger point, and this may, some people may call this like a conspiracy theory or whatever, but I do believe that, the powers that be are pushing for more
100%
more successful women, the girl boss mentality to try to break apart families.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that there is an element of, like, if you want to keep men weak, you need to break up families. Because what are men most likely to fight for? Women and their family, right?
Yep.
So,
and if they don't have that, they don't care.
They don't care, right?
Like, and I can speak for that. Before I had my daughter, whether I lived or died actually was irrelevant. I didn't care. Yeah. And the second I had her, dude, it was like, I gotta be around for that little girl. I swear, I'll do anything required to help. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. And then we come full circle to where it's like, I actually feel bad because it's an education problem. Men and women alike are being taught a whole bunch of bad ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually feel bad for all of these people, not just girls, all of these people that are being corrupted by these bad ideas. It's almost not their fault, dude.
Yeah.
So, again, controlling what we can control, we're going to do the best we can to educate girls on what actual good guys want.
Yeah.
And listen, in the comments, you're going to tell us how bad we are and how shitty we are and all that. You guys are losers. We don't care about you. We care about what the 8s, 9s, and 10s think about us and the other millionaires in the room. So just so you guys know, that's who our crowd is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's I share the same passion you do. I really want to try to educate the youth on what the realities of all this stuff is. There's plenty of good guys and girls out here, boys and girls. We just got to find each other and have each other's backs and not fuck each other over. And if we can do that, our world's going to improve. I want this world to get better for my children, and I know you plan on having kids one day, and I know you want 100 years in the future to be a positive future, not a negative one.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
And that's the magic of having kids, dude. So,
yeah.
All right. I'm going to hit you with the last question.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a two-parter.
Okay.
And this one, boy, this one's going to get some people riled up. I have a funny feeling. Okay. Would you date a woman long-term or marry a girl with kids already that are not yours?
I'm gonna tell the absolute truth.
Please.
As we sit here today, I would say no. I just know I've had experiences where I've been talking to a woman with a kid. Dad wasn't in the picture. Dad found out that we're talking. Now he's father of the year all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me personally, I can't see myself. Now, again, I'm speaking as I sit here now. Maybe there's this amazing woman that shows up and changes my mind. But as we sit here now, I don't see a world where the question was take serious or marry. Date long
Date
term.
long term. Let's
Date
say
long
you
term.
would date her longer than a year or potentially
Okay.
marry. What is we'll even soften it a little bit. What's the likelihood of that
Okay.
happening?
Right now, it's pretty much zero. For the fact of I don't want to deal with the baby daddy. Why didn't it work out with your baby daddy? Your baby daddy may be jealous, resentful of me. Humbly speaking, I'm probably more successful than your baby daddy, so that's going to cause a problem as well.
And if you're not, if it's Drake, then even worse,
Then
right?
yeah,
Fuck.
yeah,
like-
yeah. True. And then also too, like if your child is going to be around at some point, I'm going to have to devote some of my resources, even if it's just bringing your child some food back home. Now I am devoting some of my resources that I've created and worked hard and generated to help a child that has a father that's around or that's
Or that's not.
my child or
Yep.
whatever it is,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I can't see myself doing that. And there's a lot of good. I know 3 examples off the top of my head of women that have kids and have gotten other men to one's engaged and the other two are long-term relationships. But these are great. These are gorgeous. And maybe that's the case. Like the 3 examples that came to my mind, these girls are some of the most beautiful women. And so I can see a world, and they're very sweet. I know them personally. It doesn't shock me that they've been able to get men to fully commit and take on their kids as their own. But as I sit here right now, I can't see a world where I would do that. That may be a shallow, immature answer. But when I come to these podcasts, I'm gonna tell the truth, and that's how I feel.
We gotta talk our shit, and listen. If you were to lie, then people would sense that and know that you were full of shit anyway.
Yeah.
So all we can do is tell the truth. Some people are gonna hate it. Some
Yeah.
people are gonna love it. All we care is that you're not apathetic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my response to this, and I've got. I'm gonna respond talking to the men out there, and I'm gonna respond talking to the women. Okay. To all the guys out there, let me tell you something, because I'm in a little different boat than Will. I have a baby mama. Okay. You don't want to deal with a man like me. Okay. I'm gonna be telling you how you act in your house around my daughter,
Yeah.
and if you fuck up, I've got the resources to hurt you.
Yeah.
And listen, my daughter's mom's husband, I've had to check him a couple times.
Yeah.
And let him know, like, if you act like that, dude, it's going to be real fucking bad for you. And he was smart. He actually listened to me.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, dude, you don't want a man like me telling you how you got to live your life in your own house.
Yeah.
And that's the risk you run if you marry a chick that's got a child.
Yeah.
Okay? Because he might be a guy like me, and at any time, if I want to, I can bulldoze you.
Yeah.
And I personally, if I was dating a girl and her baby daddy was Drake, I'm not trying to deal with that shit. That motherfucker could hurt me.
Yeah.
So, again, same thing with the dog thing, right? There are women out here, and listen, I've dated women that have kids. I can't say that I haven't done it. I've had situations where, like, look, the dad died. He's not around anymore.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Sad things, or even that he was a great guy or whatever. And I've done it in the past. But all things being equal, just like the dog thing, right? If there's a perfect girl that doesn't have kids, and then on this side there's a perfect girl that does, this is less risky.
Mhm.
Okay? So as men, we're always calculating and assessing risk if we're smart, right? Which I fancy both me and you a little above average intelligence. Smart guys are always trying to mitigate risk in their life.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not trying to have some crazy ass baby daddy come over to my house and kill me because I said something he didn't like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a risk
Yeah.
if you're dating a girl.
Yeah.
Now, to the ladies out there in this situation, because guess what? On the flip side, listen, girls got into relationships with men that purported themselves to be good guys.
Yeah, and changed up.
They turned out to be bad guys.
Yeah, true.
You absolutely shouldn't stay with those men just because you have a baby with them.
Yeah.
And now you're in a situation that, you wish you weren't in, but you are in, okay? I want you to know, girls, if you're in that situation, make sure, and this is how, exactly what you just said. These girls in this situation, the ones that are smart make themselves perfect in every other realm. Like, she's hot as hell. We all see the moms at the gym that are getting it in 7 days a week because they're like, I'm going to make sure, listen, I got a kid. I'm going to make sure everything else is handled. Make sure your baby daddy ain't no problem. Make sure you got that situation handled.
Yeah.
Make sure you got everything else going on. And I don't want the girls in that situation to lose hope and say, I can never find a good man. Just because that's not a man's preference. Like I know, if the perfect woman who's a 10 out of 10, buys your placemats, fucking has her baby daddy on lock, he's a nice guy, he don't fuck with you, he don't nothing. She's perfect in any other way. Every man sitting here could, and the kid's cool, and she's a good mom, and she's down to have 3 more with me. There are guys, all me and Will included, by the way. If that woman presented herself and that was the only red flag, a lot can be compensated for if you're controlling what you can control.
For sure. And ladies, you can definitely still find a great man, if you have kids. So like, don't misunderstand this.
Yes.
Like, you can find a great guy still.
100%. Both, I can say it, both me and Will right now would make the exception if the perfect woman showed up, started cooking us meals, and making our lives awesome, and there was no other issue with it. And she's like, baby daddy's married, he lives in Europe, or he's got 3 other kids, and everything's good, and we don't fight, and he pays for everything, whatever. But just make sure if you get yourself into that situation, this goes back to initially, be selective with who you don't be having no babies with no guys that are going to fuck up your life. Yeah. Because guess who's going to pay for that? It's not going to be him. Yeah. It's going to be you who's going to be dealing with that the rest of the 20, 30, 40 years that you're dealing with it. Yeah. So make sure you're selective. If you get yourself into that situation, do everything you can to make yourself attractive, and you will. I don't want you to lose hope. But yeah, in general, listen, man, I'm in the same boat. Yeah. I've done it before, but most of the good guys out here are looking for girls that don't have kids yet, because they want to have kids. Yeah. And I would just say that to girls: be very selective with who you're out there sleeping with, and make sure. I had a teacher in high school say this to me, and I'll never forget it. And we're actually going to end on this because this is such a poignant thing that a woman told me, okay? She told me, make sure if you're sleeping with a girl, you got no problem with her having your baby. Okay? And that's where I start off. Like,
A+ advice right there.
I am not just sleeping with any girl. I know you girls out here think us successful guys are dogs. Quite the opposite. Like, if I'm not at least halfway sure that a girl wouldn't completely fuck up my life if I had a baby with her, I'm not even going on date number 2 with her, okay? And for all you men and women, if you're sleeping with somebody, protect that, protect your purity, and make sure if you're engaging in that, if you're sleeping with a girl or a man, just know going into that, the repercussions of having a child with that person will affect your life forever, and you need to make sure that you're in a good situation. And that's where I'm at, where, I talked a little bit of shit, but the reality of the situation is, with my daughter's mom, she's great. I pay for anything I'm ever asked to pay for. We don't fight over money. She's relatively civil and nice to me. I'm the same back to her. We've gotten in a few disagreements, but I picked a woman that she wasn't going to create problems in my life once we had a child. And I knew that whether it worked out with us or not. And I would encourage everybody else to do that. If you do find yourself in that situation, make sure that the person that you did that with They're not going to fuck up your life because they can. And she could have fucked up my life. I could have fucked up her life. But both of us sat down when we went to break up and said, hey, we don't want to go to court and screw all of this up and hurt our child. Let's figure it out like adults. And we've been able to do that. And make sure that you're really selective with whoever's in your life. And I will repeat, Jody O'Farrell, if you're out there, Jody, I love you with all of my heart. You gave me some of the best advice I could have ever gotten in life. Make sure, if you're sleeping with somebody, that if you have a child with them, your life won't completely fall apart. So with that, one last thing, I just want to plug all of Will's stuff. Please tell me where all the wonderful people in the world can find you, Will, because Will's a solid dude.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. So if you're interested in my wines, you can go to elsfinewine.com, or you can just Google Elite Level Status and the website will pop right up. You can follow me on Instagram at WillSucceed247. My business page is at Elite Level Status Official, and I'm on TikTok and Instagram. I'm on TikTok and YouTube at Elite Level Status.
And all of his stuff will be tagged on all of this. I mean, we collab on all our stuff, so watch Will's stuff. It's really great. Great advice from both sides. So at the bare minimum, whether you agree with anything that we said today or any of his other podcasts, if you go watch those, you're going to gain perspective on how other people are thinking, and you're going to be more educated. You're going to know more than you knew going into watching his content. And that's what I love about it. I mean, people don't know this story, but I hit Will up cold. I saw his stuff. I was like, dude, I got to be on your podcast. Your shit is so fire, bro. Yeah. And that's the truth. Will didn't know me. I hit him up cold, and now we become buddies. So go follow his stuff. We're going to be posting the crap out of it. And you guys will see me on his pod in the very near future. We're gonna make it a regular sighting on each other's stuff because we always have good conversations.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey.
So I've never been on someone else's podcast, so I appreciate the invite.
Hey, thank you so much for coming, bro. We'll do it again very soon.
Sounds
Thank you.
good.
Yes,
Sounds
sir. And that's it. Niche down. Money's not real. And we'll see you guys next time. We love you all. Talk to you later.
Thank you.